your victory is guaranteed. Now, because some of us live a lifestyle of trusting God, we are not surprised when we get the victory. We are never caught off guard when God blesses us, promotes us, sends us better, does for us the good measure, the press, the shaking, and the rain. And then God said, I will hide my face. Look at here. He's going to hide his face from them. I will see what their end will be. Listen, God is not saying literally they wouldn't be able to see his face. No, don't think that. What God was saying was that in his children who had no faith, who were now going to do their own thing, God said, I'm going to hide my face. I'm not going to allow you to see my face. Now watch what that means when we consider what Moses taught them in Numbers. Go back to the book of Numbers. Up until now, you did everything God's way. But now all of a sudden, you're going to do it your way. Now your way is going to prove to be the wrong way. Because just like God raises folk up, when they stop walking by faith, he can also bring them back down. Tell your neighbor, that means no matter how much God blesses you, be mindful that he did it. Be mindful that he did it. Come on, be mindful that he did it. That job, he did it. Come on, helping you to get in school and come out with your degree, he did it. Be mindful. Don't ever become unmindful of God, or else God is going to cause his face to be hidden from you. And this is what's going on in the church. There are a lot of people in the time in which we live, they are not mindful of God. And I said Sunday, I recognize in the general church, there's a cultural change. But God is not with these changes that we see. And Moses has to tell him he can't be afraid of them. He got to tell them. I said he has to tell them. Same way I got to tell it. You got folk now who make God secondary and they don't want you to say anything about it to them. If you do, they'll get upset with you. Look at Deuteronomy 6. Number 6. Are y'all here? Are you listening? Notice the blessing that God told Moses to speak over his people in number 6 and 24. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you what? Peace. Notice God's face shining on his people meant that God was going to be gracious to his people. It meant that his people would be favored by him. He would place his favor on his people. So when God says through Moses in Deuteronomy 32, I'm going to hide my face. That means the favor that God had put on the people, he was taking off the people. And the reward, which was the promised land, they would not see it. No faith, no rewards. I'm going to hide my face. Now listen, there are some things like the promised land that if God didn't do it, it absolutely could not be done. They couldn't even get in there without him. You understand? That's the reason they died in the wilderness. Because with no faith, God had to say no rewards. Why? Because without faith, You see what he did? Now God does not what? Change. So that means what he got for Pastor Cochran, if I decide that I can get it not being mindful of him, then he will take his face and hide it from me. He'll remove favor, which has caused me to do all that I have been able to do thus far. And I'm to the point now, I don't want to make a move without God's face shining on what I do. Do you hear me? And so he let them die in the wilderness. Here's the thing as I close with people. This is the mistake we make. Is that folks will say, well, I can get this without God. And you can get some things without God. But this is my thing. I don't want nothing that didn't come from God. I don't want to drive nothing that God didn't give me. Because I know if God didn't give it, there can be no enjoyment in it the way it needs to be. But see, nowadays people have become so self-sufficient to where many who always believed in doing things God's way, now they can do it God's way or they can lean on their talents. That's when Proverbs 10 and 22 is plain. The blessings of the Lord makes one what? Rich. And adds no what? But the blessings of who? The blessings of who? The blessings of who? So that means there are other type blessings. Listen, man can bless you. But sometime in order for man to bless you, he going to require you to get out of God's will. We got a $50,000 increase for you. But we're going to require you to work on every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're going to give you Monday and Tuesday off. Now, up until then, you have been mindful that you need to be in church. What you going to do? If you're a faith walker, you're going to keep doing what God told you to do, which was you need to be in my house. But if you start thinking more of yourself than you need to, then you're going to say, well, hey, I just ain't going to be able to do it God's way, but I'm going to be able to get a whole lot of stuff done. Do y'all hear me? See, I don't want us to be like that. I want us to do according to the written and revealed will of God. And I believe if we'll do it, the rewards he's going to release this year, or the reward he's already releasing, enjoyment is coming with that. Therefore, just say right now, you just want a particular car. Then, of course, no matter how much that car is, if you're willing to slave for it, in some senses, you can drive it. But the payment may be so high that you just don't drive it, you live in it. You see what I'm saying? Now, you're going to have that. And when folks look at you, they're going to think this, that, and other about you. But you're going to know in the end, when God hides his face, that you have that. But I didn't give it to you. It wasn't a faith thing. You hear me? Because see, we ain't the only one. We talking faith walkers year of reward. So we're looking. We got an expectation for things. But don't fool you. The world has a list of what they going to do, what they going to accomplish, what they going to get this year, what they going to do this year. But it is not a faith walk. Only thing I'm telling us to do is whatever we do, let it be a faith walk. And when God starts to bless you, don't become unmindful of who gave you that, who gave you the ability to do it. Do y'all follow me? All right, I'm done. Let's give him a praise.